Mercedes-Benz built their reputation on bulletproof engines, but these 10 power plants will destroy that reputation and your bank account. By the end of this video, you will know which engines and which model years to avoid at all costs. Number 1. M272 V6. The M273 and 3.5-liter V6 engines found in C-Class, E-Class, and ML-Class models from 2004 to 2011 represent Mercedes' biggest engineering disaster. This engine earned its terrible reputation through the infamous balance shaft sprocket failure that destroys the entire engine without warning. Mercedes used soft composite material for the balance shaft sprockets that deteriorate over time, eventually disintegrating and sending metal fragments throughout the engine. When these sprockets fail, they destroy the timing chain, damage the cylinder heads, and contaminate the entire lubrication system with metal particles. The failure typically occurs between 80,000 to 120,000 miles and requires complete engine replacement rather than repair. According to Consumer Reports data and extensive MB World Forum documentation, over 60% of M272 engines will experience balance shaft failure if not addressed proactively. The repair costs are astronomical. Complete engine replacement ranges from $12,000 to $18,000, often exceeding the vehicle's value. Warning signs include metallic rattling on startup and metal particles in the oil, but by the time symptoms appear, catastrophic damage has usually occurred. The worst years are 2004 to 2008, when Mercedes used the original soft sprockets. Later versions received updated sprockets, but the damage to the M272's reputation was permanent. Smart buyers avoid any Mercedes with the M272 engine unless extensive documentation proves the balance shaft sprockets have been replaced with updated versions. This engine proves that even Mercedes can produce catastrophic failures when cost-cutting compromises engineering integrity. Number 2. M273 V8. The M273 4.6 and 5.5-liter V8 engines found in S-Class, CLS, and ML-Class models from 2006 to 2014 share the same fatal balance shaft design as the M272, but with even more catastrophic consequences due to their larger size and complexity. This engine represents everything wrong with Mercedes' cost-cutting era. Like its V6 sibling, the M273 uses composite balance shaft sprockets that fail catastrophically, but the V8's additional complexity makes repairs even more expensive. When the balance shaft components disintegrate, they destroy timing chains, damage both cylinder heads, and contaminate the entire engine with metal debris. The repair requires complete engine removal and replacement, often costing more than $20,000. According to automotive service data and Mercedes specialist mechanics, the M273 failure rate approaches 70% by 150,000 miles, making it one of the least reliable engines Mercedes ever produced. The engine's complexity means that when balance shaft failure occurs, secondary damage is extensive and often includes destroyed pistons, damaged cylinder walls, and ruined crankshafts that make repair impossible. The worst years are 2006 to 2009, when the original problematic sprockets were used. Mercedes issued multiple service bulletins and eventually redesigned the components, but existing engines remain ticking time bombs. The M273 is found in expensive luxury vehicles, where engine replacement costs often exceed the car's value, making these vehicles essentially worthless when the inevitable failure occurs. Smart buyers avoid any Mercedes with the M273 engine, regardless of maintenance history or mileage. Number 3. OM642 V6 Diesel. The OM642 3-liter V6 diesel found in various Mercedes models from 2005 to 2018 represents a masterclass in how to destroy diesel reliability through poor design and cheap components. While the basic engine block is robust, everything attached to it fails constantly, creating endless repair bills that make ownership a nightmare. The OM642's fatal flaws include oil cooler seals that fail every 60,000 miles, intake manifold swirl flaps that break and destroy the engine, and a complex emissions system that requires constant, expensive repairs. The oil cooler failure alone costs $2,500 to repair and occurs so frequently that many specialists recommend proactive replacement. When the intake swirl flaps break, they can be sucked into cylinders and destroy pistons, requiring complete engine rebuild. According to RepairPal data and diesel specialist reports, OM642 engines require major repairs every 80,000 to 100,000 miles, with annual maintenance costs often exceeding $3,000. The complex emissions equipment, including EGR valves, DPF systems, and DEF injection components, fail regularly and cost thousands to replace. The engine's reputation is so poor that many Mercedes dealers refuse to service high-mileage examples. The worst years are 2005 to 2012, when the original problematic components were used. Later versions receive some updates, but the fundamental design flaws remain. The OM642 is particularly problematic in ML and GL class SUVs, where the additional weight and towing stress accelerate component failures. Smart buyers avoid any Mercedes with the OM642 engine unless they have substantial repair budgets and understand they're buying a maintenance-intensive vehicle rather than reliable transportation. Number 4. M156 AMG V8. The M156 6.2-liter naturally aspirated V8 found in various AMG models from 2006 to 2015 sounds incredible and produces massive power, but it's plagued by camshaft wear and head bolt failures that can destroy the engine without warning. This engine represents AMG's attempt to build a high-performance power plant without adequate durability testing. The M156's primary failure point is premature camshaft wear, caused by inadequate lubrication to the cam lobes and followers. The wear occurs gradually, but accelerates rapidly once it begins, eventually causing complete camshaft failure that requires engine removal and rebuild. The head bolt issue affects early engines where insufficient torque specifications allow head gasket failure and coolant contamination of the oil system. According to AMG forums and specialist mechanics, camshaft replacement costs $8,000 to $12,000 and is considered inevitable maintenance rather than unexpected failure. The head bolt issue requires complete engine disassembly and often reveals additional damage that makes repair costs exceed $15,000. Many specialists recommend proactive camshaft replacement at 80,000 miles to prevent catastrophic failure. The worst years are 2006 to 2011, when the original problematic components were used. Mercedes issued service bulletins addressing some issues, but the fundamental design problems remain. The M156 is found in expensive AMG models where repair costs often approach the vehicle's value, making high-mileage examples essentially worthless. Smart buyers avoid early M156 engines unless extensive documentation proves major components have been replaced with updated versions. Number 5. M271 Compressor Inline 4. The M271 1.8-liter supercharged four-cylinder found in C-Class and SLK models from 2002 to 2011 represents Mercedes' failed attempt to downsize engines while maintaining performance. This engine is plagued by timing chain stretch, tensioner failures, and supercharger problems that create constant reliability issues. The M271's timing chain system uses inadequate tensioners that allow chain stretch, eventually causing timing problems that can result in valve to piston contact and complete engine destruction. The supercharger adds complexity and heat that accelerates component wear, while the direct injection system creates carbon buildup problems that require expensive cleaning every 50,000 miles. According to Consumer Reports data and Mercedes service records, M271 engines require timing chain replacement every 100,000 to 120,000 miles, at costs exceeding $3,500. The supercharger clutch fails regularly, costing $2,000 to replace, while carbon buildup requires professional cleaning, costing $800 every 50,000 miles. The combination of problems makes ownership extremely expensive. The worst years are 2002 to 2007, when the original problematic timing components were used. Later versions received some improvements, but the fundamental design issues remain. The M271 is found in entry-level Mercedes models, where repair costs often exceed the vehicle's value, making these cars poor long-term investments. Smart buyers avoid any Mercedes with the M271 engine and choose naturally aspirated alternatives that offer better reliability. Number 6. OM641 Inline-4 Diesel. The OM641 2.1-liter four-cylinder diesel found in various Mercedes models from 2008 to 2020 represents everything wrong with modern diesel engines. This power plant combines timing chain problems with complex emissions equipment failures that create endless repair bills and poor reliability. The OM641's timing chain system is inadequately designed for diesel torque loads, causing premature stretch and eventual failure that can destroy the entire engine. The complex emissions equipment, including DPF, EGR, and DEF systems, fail regularly and cost thousands to repair. The high-pressure fuel system components, including injectors and pumps, fail frequently, often requiring complete system replacement. According to diesel specialist reports and Mercedes forums, OM641 engines require major repairs every 80,000 to 100,000 miles, with timing chain replacement costing $4,000 and emissions system repairs often exceeding $5,000. The engine's reputation for unreliability has made it one of the most avoided power plants in the used Mercedes market. The worst years are 2008 to 2014, when the original problematic components were used. Later versions received some updates, but the fundamental design flaws remain. The OM641 is found in various Mercedes models where repair costs often approach the vehicle's value. Smart buyers avoid any Mercedes with the OM641 engine and choose gasoline alternatives that offer better long-term reliability and lower maintenance costs. Number 7. M137 V12. The M137 6-liter V12, found in S-Class models from 1991 to 1999, represents Mercedes' early attempt at electronic engine management that created more problems than it solved. This engine combines V12 complexity with primitive electronics that fail constantly and cost thousands to diagnose and repair. The M137's electronic systems, including fuel injection, ignition management, and emissions controls, use early technology that's prone to failure and difficult to diagnose. When problems occur, they often cascade through multiple systems, creating expensive diagnostic nightmares that can cost thousands before repairs even begin. The V12 configuration adds complexity that makes every repair more expensive and time-consuming. According to automotive service data and Mercedes specialists, M137 engines require constant electronic system repairs that often cost more than the vehicle's value. The primitive diagnostic systems make troubleshooting difficult and expensive, while replacement parts are becoming increasingly scarce and expensive. Many specialists refuse to work on these engines due to their complexity and unreliability. The worst years are 1991 to 1995, when the most primitive electronic systems were used. Later versions received some improvements, but the fundamental complexity remains. The M137 is found in expensive S-Class models, where repair costs can easily exceed $10,000 annually. Smart buyers avoid any Mercedes with the M137 engine unless they have substantial repair budgets and access to specialists familiar with these complex systems. Number 8. M104 Inline 6. The M104 3.2-liter inline 6, found in various Mercedes models from 1988 to 1997, represents a generally solid engine ruined by head gasket problems that occur predictably around 150,000 miles. While the basic engine design is robust, the head gasket failure is expensive and often reveals additional problems. The M104's head gasket failure is caused by inadequate head bolt torque specifications that allow the gasket to fail under normal operating conditions. When the head gasket fails, it often causes coolant contamination of the oil system and can lead to bearing damage if not addressed immediately. The repair requires complete engine disassembly and often reveals additional problems that increase costs significantly. According to Mercedes service records and specialist mechanics, M104 head gasket replacement costs $3,500 to $5,000 and is considered inevitable maintenance rather than unexpected failure. The repair often reveals additional problems, including cracked cylinder heads, worn timing chains, and damaged bearings that can double the repair costs. The worst years are 1988 to 1993, when the original problematic head bolt specifications were used. Later versions received some improvements, but the fundamental design issue remains. The M104 is found in various Mercedes models where head gasket failure often occurs when the vehicle has depreciated significantly, making repair costs exceed the vehicle's value. Smart buyers budget for head gasket replacement when purchasing any Mercedes with the M104 engine. Number 9. OM642 Inline 6 Diesel. The OM642 3-liter inline 6 diesel, found in E-Class models from 1993 to 1999, represents a fundamentally solid engine ruined by injection pump problems that occur predictably and cost thousands to repair. While the engine block is nearly indestructible, the fuel system components are expensive and failure-prone. The OM606's mechanical injection pump is precision-built and extremely expensive to rebuild or replace when it fails. The pump failure is often caused by contaminated fuel or inadequate maintenance, but even well-maintained examples eventually require pump replacement that costs $3,000 to $5,000. The complex mechanical systems require specialized knowledge that few technicians possess. According to diesel specialist reports and Mercedes forums, OM606 injection pump failure is inevitable around 200,000 to 250,000 miles and represents the most expensive maintenance item on these engines. The repair requires specialized tools and knowledge that make it expensive even when performed by diesel specialists. Replacement pumps are becoming increasingly scarce and expensive. The worst years are 1993 to 1996, when the most problematic injection pump designs were used. Later versions received some improvements, but the fundamental complexity remains. The OM606 is found in E-Class models where injection pump replacement often costs more than the vehicle's value. Smart buyers avoid high-mileage OM606 engines unless they have access to diesel specialists and understand the inevitable expensive maintenance requirements. Number 10. M119 V8. The M119 5 and 6-liter V8 engines found in S-Class and SL models from 1989 to 1999 represent Mercedes' most complex, naturally aspirated V8 design that creates expensive maintenance requirements through over-engineering. While fundamentally reliable, the complexity makes every repair expensive and time-consuming. The M119's dual overhead cam design with complex timing chain systems requires expensive maintenance every 100,000 miles, when timing chains, guides, and tensioners need replacement. The procedure requires complete engine disassembly and costs $4,000 to $6,000 even when performed by specialists. The engine's complexity means that when problems occur, they're expensive to diagnose and repair. According to Mercedes service records and specialist mechanics, M119 timing chain service is inevitable and expensive, making these engines costly to maintain despite their fundamental reliability. The complex valve train systems require precise adjustment and expensive specialized tools that make routine maintenance more expensive than simpler engines. The worst years are 1989 to 1993, when the most complex timing systems were used. Later versions received some simplifications, but the fundamental complexity remains. The M119 is found in expensive luxury vehicles where maintenance costs can easily exceed $2,000 annually. Smart buyers understand that M119 engines require specialist maintenance and budget accordingly for the complex timing system service that's inevitable around 100,000 miles. These 10 Mercedes engines prove that the three-pointed star doesn't guarantee reliability and that certain power plants represent financial disasters waiting to happen. The common thread among these problematic engines is that Mercedes prioritized complexity and cost-cutting over proven engineering, creating power plants that impress in showrooms but devastate owners with repair bills. Understanding these engine disasters helps you avoid the biggest mistakes in used Mercedes shopping, choosing vehicles with power plants that will cost more to maintain than they're worth. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And if you like content like this, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.